What's up, all my Power Rats crew? Today's video, well, you whippersnappers are gonna say, "Well, what's that? I ain't never seen one of those before." And all you, well, we old crew, we old school guys, we're gonna like, man, I remember tinkering with those. You got a clue yet? It's an old carburetor, manufactured by Carter for Motorcraft. Does that give y'all a clue? It's not a Jeep. Now, come on. Don't be getting all stressed out on me on my Jeep people. It says in my YouTube name, PowerAddictsFixJeeps.com, Jeeps, cars, motorcycle tips, blah, 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 blah. I do more than just Jeeps. But you got to see this rig. It's so freaking cool, okay? So what's the deal with the carburetor? We're up here messing with this rig, my buddy Wayne and I, and we're trying to get this thing to run, because what we're hoping to do is this coming Sunday, my buddy Robbie's got a big dually truck with a big fifth wheel trailer. We're going to try to get this thing loaded up on the trailer to get it to my house. And when it hits my driveway, then I'll start pumping up the videos for it, along with my Jeeps. I'm not going away from Jeeps, don't worry. You'll still get the Jeep videos. But I want to be able to drive it up on the trailer. My other option is we're going to have to drag it up on the trailer. And it ain't little, I promise you. It's not a little rig. So what we're doing today, we wasn't getting fuel through the carburetor, so I tore the carburetor apart real quick and just looked inside of it. Are the jets stopped up? Are the metering, you know, all the stuff that goes inside of the carburetor that meters the fuel flow through a carburetor, I need to check it and see, was it stopped up? Because here's the only clue I'll give you about this rig. It's a 1967 model. I don't know for sure how long it's been sitting, but let's just say the fuel we got out of the fuel line was a little like mud. I mean, varnished, yellow, chunky mud. So I was afraid all this stuff was inside the carburetor. Well, come to find out, this carburetor looks like it's been built before. So I think I've got it. I think I know what's going on, and I think I can make it run. What this is all about today is we was up there fooling with that thing, tinkering with it, and I wish I'd had my camera set up on this, because there was some stupid stuff that happened. My buddy Wayne and I, for something stupid is going to happen. It always happens when he and I are together doing something. We're kind of like the pole version of roadkill, okay? If there's something stupid going to happen, it's going to happen to us. So today's video is nothing more than a quick breakdown of a carburetor, what to look for to make sure it's flowing, in case you guys run into an old rig somewhere that you want to get rolling, and you're not getting fuel through the carb. This is what you look for. Now, there's many carburetors on the market, so they're going to be different. This is just an old Motorcraft one barrel, but as you got old school hot rodders know, there's thermoquads, quadrijets, AFBs, just tons of them. So, anyway, enough of gabbing. Let's get on with this. Now, let's get this carburetor tore apart, see what's going on inside of it. Now, what this is not going to be is a how to rebuild a carburetor video. This is more of an exploratory thing to find out what's going on inside of it, the reason I'm not getting fuel coming down inside of it. Tried to reach down from a flat screwdriver and discovered I had a nut driver, so I had to go get a flat screwdriver. Most of the time on these old school carburetors, your top horn or top section right here is mostly all flat screws. What you'll have to do is here, you got a clip here, pop that clip, pull it up, pry it up, come on, you can move. Get your finger out of the way before I don't stab myself. And it then slides off like that, and usually leave it attached, just a little hairpin clip, but I just need this top horn to be able to separate so I can get down to the float, needles, and all that fun stuff. I went ahead and bought a carburetor kit just in case I damaged the gaskets. I'm hoping I don't damage it, because what I can do later on is do an actual rebuild video on the carburetor and clean it up, make it all nice, neat, and pretty. So So I'm hoping I don't damage anything. I just want to open it up to where I can get the big old beast to run long enough to get it on the trailer. Otherwise, we'll have to do some fancy stuff getting it on the trailer. And I'm on a bit of a time crunch. I really need that thing on the trailer by this weekend. What I was doing, I was taking the blade of the screwdriver, hanging on the screw thread. There's a section of the screw thread that's exposed. So you can hang the screwdriver on the edge of it, push up a little bit, grab the head of the screw, pull it right out. Alright, let's see if I'm forgetting anything. Looks like it's ready to come apart. Hopefully we can save a gasket, because I just need the engine to run. Okay, pull up slowly, because you don't know if like accelerator pumps, floats, stuff like that. You want to control all that. Okay, here's your float and needle and seat right here. The needle's moving okay. It's kind of, because what happens is, here's your fuel line. This is where the fuel filter screws into. Fuel from the fuel pump comes in here, pushes into it, and pushes this needle downward, okay? And what it does, it allows fuel to flow in around that, and as the carburetor gets more fuel down inside the bowl here, this float right here floats upward, like this. It closes off the needle and says, okay, I've got enough fuel in here, stop. Then as the carburetor uses fuel, this float maintains how much fuel flows through that needle to allow it to come in, to allow the fuel to come through. So surprisingly, I was actually expecting to see that stuck, but it's not, so it's kind of like, now what? Now the possibility of the venturis and stuff like that are stuck in the carburetor, all gummed up. That is a very good possibility. Looks like our gasket is safe. Okay, so our accelerator pump's working. Because I pushed it, you see gas shoot up out of there. See it pop? So that's our accelerator pump. When you step on the gas, wooden. Whenever you step on it, it pushes down on this right here, which shoots gas and down into the venturis of the carburetor. And see, watch right here. Watch this right here move when I move the throttle. Wooden. Every time I go wooden, it pushes this down, it shoots extra fuel down through here. So far, surprisingly, I don't see a whole lot of bad junk buildup. I really don't. Got some junk down inside the venturis right there, but that wouldn't make it not run. Oh, this is interesting. Somebody's had the metering jet out at one point, because right down inside there, that little silver metering jet, that determines how much fuel flows down through this and into the venturis. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the float off here, pull that needle out, pull the float off, drop it, look at your needle. Looks good. I mean, honestly, it's clean. That's kind of surprising. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get my carburetor cleaner, get my little straw, and y'all can't see it. Well, I'll tell you, see right there, eye protection. Cause this stuff, if it blows up in your eyes, boy, you talking about hurting. Stick it right there, and it should blow out that way. clear there. Good. That's good. So at this point, really, we can go ahead and put this back together so we don't lose any parts. But this here, the float sits out like this here, and feed your rod back through, your hinge or whatever you want to call it. And we'll just set that aside right now. Now we got to figure out what's going on here. And I'm pumping. Because it rotates it right here is what, that little screw right there, you set how much accelerator pump pushes whenever you hit the throttle. Okay, I'm definitely going to knock out some of that junk right there real quick. Kind of get out back here off camera so I don't blow junk in the camera. Okay, I got the venturi sprayed out. I got all that, I don't know what it was, crud built up in it. And here's your jets here. Let's take this one out. See if I get cleaner to go through it. And you just turn. Yeah, look at that. It broke loose. Oh, sweet, 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 sweet. And like I said, strangely enough, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of junk build up. Oh, it burns. What you can't see is, maybe the camera see it, right down through the middle of that. See that hole? Again, that's one of the metering devices that tells it how much fuel is allowed to go down through there. I was expecting some of this stuff to be clogged up. So I took that little carb cleaner, shot it through the jets right there. Bug in my face. And it's clear all the way through. Okay. So our next, I'm going to shoot right down through here, see where it comes out at, and hopefully it blows through like it's supposed to, because it's probably going to come, from the looks of this, this is going down through there, it can intersect with that, and that is going to be your venturi where it meters the fuel spraying through the top of the venturi right here. So, again, off camera, so I ain't blowing this stuff all in the lens and destroying my camera. Okay, watch this. I've got it blocked so hopefully it won't blow back on the camera. Watch it blow out right there on the top of that venturi. See? Sweet. So that's clear. And I can see a hole right through there is clear. I mean, I just got sediment stuff built up down there, but it's not where the venturi, the airflow through is. It's like off this lip. Okay, so I'll pull, what should happen is I pull those 4 screws out. Wait a minute, see. I'll just attach that. Right there. Can I do that without taking all that apart? So what I'm going to hope to do is pull this aside a little bit, releases that arm, pull that arm upward. Come on, baby, you can do it. And it releases that arm right there. Then this comes right out the top like this. Okay, it's a little sticky, so we need to clean that up. Got a little bit of sediment down inside there, but it shouldn't be affecting its flow. My neighbor's over sneaking in the trash trying to be quiet so he don't get caught on camera. So I spray that junk off, I wipe it off so it slides good inside the carburetor. Okay, y'all get some old school lessons right now. So looking out through there, that looks clear. I'm gonna check the accelerator pump. Hopefully I don't tear that up bringing it out. Because what could be happening there's a diaphragm underneath the bottom of this. If this diaphragm is bad, it'll prevent it from pumping fuel down inside the carburetor. What you want to do is, you see how I break them loose first? Because this old cast, 99.9% of the time, you're going to be okay. But it's just me taking my precautionary measures like I do, because I wouldn't have the faintest idea where to get another one of these carburetors at. Is break them loose first, take the tension off the cast, then come around and take all the screws out. Come on, look at the viewfinder. Messing myself up. Now hopefully we'll get this thing out here without damaging the seal for the accelerator pump. Come on, baby, you can do it. And then what you do is look at your bottom of your diaphragm, right here. Oh, the little washers fell off. I was like, what the heck? Look at your diaphragm. Okay, I've got no cracks. That appears. Pull this up, hopefully very easily. You know what, I'm not going to screw with it, because what I'm seeing here is I've got, my screws are loose and they're falling out. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is no cracks in the diaphragm, like right, no, that was just a debris thing. So I'm going to clean this right here off, spray it, clean it off good. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so if you look, some people's going to be like freaking out, oh my gosh, it's going to leak gas, because there's a hole right there. What that does is, whenever you push down the accelerator pump, the bottom side of this right here has no fuel on that side. So what that does is just equalizes air pressure between the bottom of the diaphragm and inside the carburetor. Again, another metering device. You can faintly see through that, and I think we got some junk inside this. It should be a bit more open than that. Put the eye protection on, protect the peepers. Oh yeah, now she's open. See, now you got that hole right there. And the only thing I did is took the carburetor cleaner, put on the back side of it right there, shot it. See? Then now you can't see through it because it's got the carb cleaner in it. Just blow through it. Thing about carb cleaner, it dries super quick. So there you go, there's that. So now we need to spray down inside this hole here, see where it comes out at, and here, and see if we got any debris, blockage, or anything like that. So again, I'm going to turn this off camera so I ain't spraying the camera. Okay, we got good flow. It's coming out right there. We had good flow coming out, so I'm going to push it in this way and see it spraying, which is actually coming out right there. Now it's got a bunch of junk down inside the bowl right through here. I'm going to spray clean that out. Looks like I'm not going to have to use my carburetor kit, which means later on, once I get this beast up and going and running, I can do a proper rebuild and make it look pretty. Still got, and it's just from it's not like carburetor gum up stuff. It's like debris from who got what. I can't call it leaves because leaves they can't get inside of it. But I don't know, hell, I don't know, it could be wasp or poop, who knows. But like right there, I can knock that off. But whenever I do a complete rebuild, I'll do a proper cleaning. Right now, I just want that big monster running. I want it to run so I can drive it up on the trailer. Alright peeps, I'm not seeing any issues with anything that says, oh my gosh, we got problems. So let's put it back together. This jet goes down inside there. And put this in before the accelerator pump because it's just a lot easier to get to that way. Put it set right down inside here. If you take and lean your carburetor a little bit, let it fall along that trail, along that slide right here, it'll kind of fall right in place for you. Come on, come on. It looks like this carburetor's been apart before because this jet's broken. Because like the lip is broken, I can't even get the screwdriver to bite onto it. Darn it. There it goes. Screw that in. And with this side right here, like I said, this carburetor's been into before. This side's broken where somebody seriously over torqued it. You don't need these things tight, people. Just right there, it just made contact. And I'm gonna hang the screwdriver on the side of the lip right here and just give it a snug. You don't over torque those. It's not necessary. I have been building carburetors since before I was legal to drive. Okay, accelerator pump. In case you didn't notice, right there's the hole over here. Rotate it around that way, line all that goody stuff up so that pump hole lines up with the body, and tighten your screws up. Well, put your screws in, then tighten them up. Get that one started. That one started here and there. Bring it down till it makes contact. Do not tighten yet. Bring your screws down till they make contact. But what I've seen people make the mistake of doing is, okay, it's touching, crank it down. And next thing you know, they've cracked the carburetor body. Touch it. Touch. Now, that one's touching. A little snug. Crisscross. Over here. A little snug. Over here. A little snug. A little snug. And just go back and double check. Good. Good. Come on. Good. I've had too much caffeine this morning. I'm shaking. Okay, so there's that. Wooden. Okay, now we got to put our washers on top of this. Like that. Set them up on there. Then we need our accelerator arm. That drops inside here like this. Get in there. Now I said get in there. What's we hitting here? Okay, we're hitting on this arm down here. So we got to kick our throttle back. Okay, pull this back a little bit. That what's happening is that, see that wire right there? It slid out of that hole partially, so you got to bring it back in so it gives it room to come in. Then you can push it down. And then we got to take this, pry the rod back over to bring it back in line with that hole. Come on, baby. Come on, you can do it. Try to find it. Push it a little bit. I turned it loose. Alright, try this again. It's like I'm trying to watch the viewfinder do at the same time. It really confuses me. And that's not hard to do. Okay, now I've got just about the spot right there. And you take your accelerator arm, or your pump, your accelerator pump arm. Come on, baby. You can do it. Oh, I stabbed myself. There we go. All good. No blood. I'm good. Then we test it. Wooden. Watch this right here move. See? You can't say we kick in the full barrel because it's only a 1 barrel. Okay, so we got that going on. We gotta put this back in. Drop it down through there. Because we've got that all nice and cleaned up. It's flowing. Bump snug that. Wooden. So, okay, we got everything inside there. Now, in a full carburetor rebuild, what I would normally be doing is setting your float height as well. Float height is where the body of the float and the body of the carburetor have a certain spacing, because that determines how much fuel flow comes through here where the filter is and drops down through here. And if for whatever reason that is set incorrectly, you'll get either too much or too little fuel into the bowl. And too much fuel, you know, like on some Hollies and stuff like that, or some like Rochesters, they'll run out the top of the bowl if it's really dramatically out of whack. But too little fuel, what you'll do is going down the road in your car, your truck, or whatever the case may be, will start stumbling because it's run out of fuel inside the bowl and it can't feed the Venturis fast enough. And see, if you wanted to, like, you know, kind of generically test it, if you want to, take the bowl, your float here, put your lips right here. We got fuel flow, okay? Then you push this up. I know some of y'all going, gross, he's got his mouth on it, it's dirty. Oh, I've been doing it since before I was legal to drive, and he ain't killed me yet. And you can feel as you blow through it. And if you're grossed out, you can put your fuel filter on there and put your piece of fuel line straw, whatever, however you want to do it. You can hear the airflow through there. I'll do it one more time to get close to the camera so you guys can hear it. You'll hear that me blowing through there. When I push this up, the needle seeps inside this seat right here, and it cuts off the flow. And that's how that works. Sweet. So now that we've tested all that goodiness, we've got fuel flow going through this rascal. Figure out the jigsaw puzzle, which way am I laying my gasket? Golly, I'm having dyslexia issues. Okay, this stacks on like that. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's easier to put it on this part first. It really depends on the carburetor. And this may be one of those times where I make myself look like an idiot because I got it wrong. But then you take and drop be careful, drop your float down through here like this. You know what, I'm going to check something first before I do this. Being I'm going to do a rebuild on it anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And because what we got is, or should have, here, this right here. Now the question is, I don't remember what the settings are. This right here, weirdly enough, has like a Holley power valve. There's your accelerator pump, there's new check balls and all that fun stuff goes inside of it. But what it don't have is the directions for the proper float height. So you know what, people? I guess I'm just going to wing it. What I'll have to do is jump online and find the proper float height for that. So you see right there, it's got these little measurements. What you do, it sits like this right here, and you're taking your measure. Yeah, it's about that high, yes. But again, the directions wasn't in the pack, so therefore I got to figure out what the float height is for it. But not the end of the world, it's all good. So what you do to adjust that, see right here, the narrow spot on the float arm, You simply take that and bend it downward or upward. Now you bend it, you grab it like you say here and bend down, and it bends it right there. But if you need to bend it back that way, what I suggest is you take your blade screwdriver flat. Don't push it down on the seat because you'll damage the needle on the seat. Put it right there on this, lay it across that, and push against the float there, and it'll bend it up, making it pivot right there. Don't ever push against the needle in the seat because you'll damage the needle. So at this point, I'd really rather it run out of fuel early than not flood. So I'm gonna, just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna bend it down a little bit. You push it up, you can feel the needle seat right there. Because it comes up, if you watch real close, here, the little plunger, the square part of it right here will go up, stop, it hits right there, and you watch it because it's got a spring-loaded needle inside there. So about right there where it actually closes off at. This will make it run lean on top end because I've probably got this drop down too low, but it's easy enough to adjust later on. Another thing you want to watch too is, especially on these old school brass floats, is look, like right here, that's just rust. That's just rust. Here, sometimes on these old school brass floats, you'll get a hole inside of them. And if you get a hole inside your float, gas gets inside the float, and then it just simply does not, it won't float. That's all you can say for it. Then, you know, you got all kinds of issues, because then the float will want to hang. If the float's hanging like this, the float will want to hang down because it can't float because of all the fuel inside the bowl part. That'll make your needle stay open all the time, flood your carburetor out. So now that we've verified all that goodness, we'll set it back over here. Drop it down because I'm holding the float up. Line your gasket up. I'm holding the float with my finger like this right here, okay? Set it, well, get my gasket lined up again. I keep knocking it silly. And drop it down slow. Drop your float in, watch that, come down. Remember your accelerator pump right here has to hit that divot, that hole up in there. Now the screw holes are lined up, we'll put the screws back in, tighten them up. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Had to get another battery for the camera. One screw's in. Now we've got the screws all seated. They're seated, not tightened. Now these multi-level carburetors, multi-level meaning you got a level here and a level here. What I like to do is take care of the air horn up here first. It's here, 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 whatever. Just I'll crisscross here, here, and there. Do something like that. On the bowl section here, go here, 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 and here. Again, kind of like, you know, torquing down a head bolt or something. You start in the middle, work your way out. So here, 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 or something along that. I'm just not a fan of going here and here and leaving this bolt because I want my center down first. Why? Because metal even though this is cast, even though this is probably gazillion, well, it's a 1967 model, if the metal, for instance, is bowing like this, okay, and you tighten down your end screws first, what you get is that metal's bowing up like this. And then when you tighten down that middle one, you get this, subject to fracture the metal. So if your metal happens to be bowing like this, I know this sounds overkill, this has been nitpicky, but I've never busted a carburetor body. Like here, and what would happen is, because you're bowing like this, if it were like that, which odds are it's not because of all the casting, but if you're like this, when you push it down, it'll push the sides outward like that, flatten out your metal. Then you get this right here snug, then go here, then here, or on that side over here. That will prevent you from busting carburetor bodies, especially older ones. So there you go. Now we need to put this arm right here back on. I said put that arm back on. It's all okay. See, my hairpin's all twisted up, so I gotta take my arm here, roll it back like that, boom, there we go. Then once you get that arm up straight, you're gonna take this rod, come back down, drop it. Almost got ahead of myself. Look at your clip, how it sits in. It sits through there. It's all set like that. I'm having a brain fart. Then once you get that hairpin sight, then once you get this part up here lined back up, you're gonna take this end. Look at your clip. Remember how it come off? Because it snaps in like so. So this is going to come in like this, and it'll rotate over and snap on that. So what you do is you take this, slide over that rod, over your linkage part first, over your rod, arm, whatever the crap you want to call it. Then take this, feed it down through there. Come on, baby. Come on, come on. There he goes. Then once you get that, you take this, push it over on top of that, clips back down the arm, and you're good. And what that does, it actuates, it has to do your choke. Even though this old rig has a manual choke, cable style choke, you can tell right here to here. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. You'll see it eventually. But once that choke's open, the throttle kind of works with the choke. Vroom, vroom. It sure ain't no thermoquad. If you guys ever run a big block Dodge, I used to have an old $74 Charger, had a thermoquad on it. Oh, I love those carburetors. Doggone secondary, it's big, about drop golf balls through them. Love the sound of those carburetors. And that's how you do a quickie cleanup on a carburetor. Well, what do you know? If I'd actually read the box, it says instruction sheets, www.walkerproducts.com support. I bet you that's where I get my float settings at. You think? Dude. Why does it got fuel injection? Dude, that's a carburetor. But anyway, let's just hope this baby flows and I get it home, and then we'll actually do a real rebuild on it. So all my power ass crew, there's how to tear down a carburetor, just to check the insides of it to make sure everything's flowing okay. All you need is a little bit of carbon choke cleaner, shoot it through the right little metering jets, orifices and stuff like that to make sure the flow of the fuel is making it through the carburetor like it should. And as for this rig hitting the channel, like I said at the beginning of the opening, when it hits my driveway, that's when I'll start rolling on it. But it's kind of like one of those things, I need to have possession. It's like Rust Bucket. I didn't start releasing videos on it until I had the title in my hand, because I didn't want to start dumping money into something that I didn't own. See what I'm saying? So, because I bought Rust Bucket on a, the guy had lost the title, and until, again, it's a whole money thing that I didn't want to start putting anything into it until I had the money, until I had the title in my hand. That's the case with this big rig that I'm dragging in next week, is that when it's in my driveway and the title is in my hand, that's when you're going to see some really cool stuff. I've been wanting to build one of these for a long time, and well, you'll just see. I'm not going to keep rambling on this. So anyway, that's how you tear down a carburetor for a quickie build. If, for instance, we'll do a good rebuild on it later on. So everyone, I appreciate you hanging out. Hit that like, subscribe, comments down below. Thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Later, y'all. My camera is about to run out of memory, so I gotta go. Peace.